This video provides step-by-step instructions for the installation of the Hill & Smith SmartPod crash cushion. For additional details, reference the SmartPod Installation Manual and specific project plans and drawings. It's the responsibility of the installer to fully understand the complete installation process to ensure the proper performance of the device. The SmartPod is shipped complete, on its own skid, fully assembled and ready to install. The recommended method for placing the unit is by lifting at the 4 designated lifting lugs. The lifting lugs are located on the top of bulkhead 3 and bulkhead 6. Lift with a boom or forklift of sufficient capacity and place the unit in position. The test level 3 unit weighs approximately 3,200 pounds. As an alternative, a forklift can be used by lifting under the skid frame, but caution must be taken to avoid lifting under the side panels. To avoid damage, never lift directly under the side panels. Check to make sure that there are no drains, expansion joints, buried conduit, cables, or utility lines in the footprint space where the cushion will be placed. The surface of the foundation must be cleaned of all debris, and a longitudinal and/or cross slope of up to 10:1 is allowed. Prior to installing the SmartPod on an existing foundation, inspect for signs of age or deterioration which may make the foundation unusable. Any of the following foundations will meet the minimum requirements: 6-inch reinforced concrete pad, 8-inch non-reinforced concrete pad, 3-inch asphalt over 3-inch of concrete, 6-inch asphalt over 6-inch of compacted subbase, 8-inch asphalt. New foundations should be installed according to the drawings in the manual, and concrete should reach the full cure strength of 4,000 psi before use. Measure the correct distance and offset of the SmartPod according to the type of object being shielded and the type of transition being used. Reference the drawings in the installation manual as well as specific project drawings. Using the holes in the base as a template, drill 7/8" diameter holes to the proper depth. If the drill hits rebar before the hole is the proper depth, use a core drill or rebar cutter to ensure that straight, vertical holes are made at each location. To ensure the best anchor performance, use a vacuum and bottle brush to remove all residual dust and cutting debris. Compressed air with a bottle brush can also be used to remove the cuttings if a vacuum is not available. Inject the epoxy into each hole at an angle to avoid air entrapment. Use a sufficient amount of epoxy so that the hole will be completely filled when the bolt is inserted. Screw the nut on the anchor bolt flush with the end, put the washer on the stud, and rotate the anchor while inserting. This method assures that the anchor bolts are completely coated with epoxy. Before tightening, follow the epoxy manufacturer's recommendation for the epoxy cure time. Torque the anchor nuts in concrete foundations to 125 foot-pounds. Anchors in asphalt foundations should only be torqued to 10 foot-pounds. The top of the anchor bolt should not project more than 1/2 inch above the nut after the final torque is completed. There are 38 anchors used on concrete foundation installations. There are 48 anchor bolts used on asphalt foundation installations. The base frame is notched to designate the concrete anchor locations. The front plate has anchors installed in all hole locations. Asphalt installations will utilize all of the anchor locations. Assure that the energy-absorbing pods are installed in the correct orientation. Place the 4 Type 1 pods in the front of the system. And place the 3 Type 2 pods in the rear of the system. The type of front delineation panel will be determined by the location of the attenuator and state regulations. For additional information, please download and reference the SmartPod manual by visiting www.hillandsmith.com or contact one of our team members. Travel safe. Work protected.